Hey there folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the WWE Elite Collection Best of Pay-Per-View 2013 Daniel Bryan action figure set from Mattel. This set is outside of the normal series of releases from the Elite Collection and is a Toys R Us exclusive, being part of a subset of Elite Collection figures where you can actually build a Paul Heyman figure. And this set, I believe, was originally available in 2013 or 2014, I'm not sure. And originally cost about $19.99 at Toys R Us. I was able to find this set in 2014, and I was at Toys R Us and purchased it while it was on sale, where you got one Elite or any WWE set, and you got the other one for half off. And this particular figure was the one that I got for half off, so I ended up paying about $10 for this set. Taking a closer peek at Daniel Bryan and the packaging here, you can see Daniel Bryan here. He's actually holding two championship belts, the tag team championship belts, where he participated in WrestleMania 29, I believe, when him and Kane, as part of Team Hell No, defended their championship against, I think it was Biggie Langston and Dolph Ziggler. And pretty cool. And the figure here is in the typical Elite Collection packaging, at least during its time, but with some added information due to its exclusive nature. And you could see here the Elite Collection logo at the top, and it has that Best of Pay-Per-View underneath it. And then here you have a sticker indicating it is a Toys R Us exclusive. And you have here the WrestleMania Best of Pay-Per-View 2013. Now, the Best of Pay-Per-View series set in 2013 was just not for WrestleMania. The other figures in this series were from different pay-per-view events, but this particular one is WrestleMania. And over here you can see a little insert image of the Paul Heyman figure that you can build. Now, along the side you can see which parts are included in this particular set to build Paul Heyman, and that's the legs there. So pretty cool. And just a closer peek at the figure here in the packaging, you can see Daniel Bryan there, and he has two belts. I guess the other belt is for Kane. And I know there's a Series 19 release of Kane, but doesn't have the belt. So I guess maybe that belt is to go with that particular version of Kane. I don't know. Or that Daniel Bryan just likes having both belts. And here we have the back of the packaging. And you can see here some print information about Daniel Bryan and his participation in WrestleMania 20. Actually, it was 29. Yeah, it was 29 here on April 7th, 2013. And we have a picture of Daniel Bryan there. And down below this, we have the other figures in this special series of Best of Pay-Per-View. You have Daniel Bryan, you have John Cena, and you have Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, and over here we have an assembled Paul Heyman figure there. So that's pretty interesting. Now we'll be right back and have Daniel Bryan here out of the packaging. Okay, we're back and we have Daniel Bryan out of the packaging. And as you can see here, this figure comes with a few accessories. One of them being the exclusive Build-A-Figure part of Paul Heyman, and that's the legs. And we're going to go ahead and take a closer peek at that here. And as you can see, It's a pair of business slacks, and Paul Heyman was a promoter slash manager, and it's actually quite nice in the level of detail and articulation. It's actually pretty cool. Now, you really can't do too much with a pair of business slacks, but what they've done is actually kind of neat. You can see some folds in the cloth in the pants, which is pretty neat, even over here, and which is kind of neat. But what's even nicer is the level of articulation on this Build-A-Figure piece. Now, there is a Paul Heyman figure as part of a 2-pack with Brock Lesnar, and I saw that one in the store, and looked at that figure and noticed that the figure is very similar, but the one in the 2-pack does not have the level of articulation that this Build-A-Figure part is. So that's kind of a neat thing where this Build-A-Figure part has something special going on with it. But you can see the level articulation on this particular piece is actually quite nice. You can see right away the hip joints are designed like the DC Universe Classic style of hip joint, where you can move the leg up and down and back and out to the side with the hinge and swivel joints there. And there's also swivel at the thigh. You get double joints at the knees, which is very cool. And what's really nice are the articulation points on the feet at the ankles. You can move the foot all the way around. You can move it slightly downwards, not really because of the cuff of the pants there, but you can move it upwards slightly on there, which is nice. What is really neat is the ankle pivot on here, which is very, very cool. Now, for a Mattel product, that's really cool to have that ankle pivot on here, especially since Mattel handled the DC Universe Classics line, and the majority of those figures did not have ankle pivot, but this one here is actually kind of cool. So very nice to have ankle pivot on this Build-A-Figure. Now, I believe the 2-pack figure of Paul Heyman does not include that, so I could be wrong. I don't have that figure to compare, and just based on what I've seen on the packaging, I don't think it has the level of articulation that the Build-A-Figure part does. So one thing to look forward to when you want to look for a Paul Heyman figure. This is an alternative that's actually worth, I think, getting. So, but that's the Build-A-Figure part of Paul Heyman that's included with the Daniel Bryan figure. Next thing we're going to take a look at are the championship belts, and the tag team championship belts, and it's actually quite nice. Now, the Daniel Bryan set comes with 2 of them. One of them, I guess, belonging to Kane. It's kind of interesting why they included 2, but I have a good reason why I think they included 2, because the Kane figure in the Elite Collection, there's actually 2 of them in the outfit that he wore during, I guess, WrestleMania 29. There's a Series 19 Kane figure that does not include a belt, so I guess this belt can go with that Series 19 Kane. Now, there's also I think it's Series 22, I'm not sure, but there's another series of Kane that was released that has a championship belt, but that version of the set, the belt is made of a sort of a flat finish on the belt. Here on this belt, it's got a nice glossy finish. So I guess you could use this belt to replace the, I think it's Series 22 Kane, with the flat finish belt. So I guess that's a good reason why to have 2 of these in this one set. So if you have either version of Kane, you can give this belt to the Kane figure. But taking a look at some of the details on there, you can see the nice glossy finish. the Spartan type helmets that are part of the I guess the buckle type area of the belt, and it's kind of hard to read due to the glare of the nice finish there. But you can read Tag Team Champions along the bottom there, which is pretty cool. And then you have these two pieces on either side of the center buckle area. Pretty neat, and those are in a nice glossy finish as well, which is pretty cool. And the belt itself is got this simulated leather-like finish, which is pretty cool. There's the back of the belt there. And the belt also has a couple, or actually 4 pegs of soft plastic there that you can wrap around and secure with these holes. Now you have different levels of holes for, I guess, different girths of the waist of the figures. And you can actually fasten the belt depending on the girth of the figure, and to fit, have a nice tight fit on the figure. And they peg in all right. You have to push on it a little bit to secure it. You can see it, I have it secured on here, and but it's pretty neat. It's easy to remove as well. So nice to have not just one but 2 of the belts. One for the Kane figure if you have those. So pretty neat. Now we're going to go ahead and take a peek at the Daniel Bryan figure as he participated in WrestleMania 29. And I like this figure quite a bit. Now, I'm a big fan of Daniel Bryan since I came back to watching wrestling after over 20 years, actually. And I started watching some of his matches on videos on YouTube, and I've grown to actually like this particular character, and I really enjoy watching Daniel Bryan in his matches, and it's actually pretty fun. And I really enjoyed his dysfunctional tag team relationship with Kane during, I think it was 2012 to 2013, and to have an opportunity to pick up a Daniel Bryan figure is pretty cool. Now, this is as he appeared in WrestleMania 29. Daniel Bryan, also known as the Beard, on there. You could see the likeness is actually pretty good on there. It's not too terribly accurate, but it's still accurate enough where you could recognize it as Daniel Bryan when you see it. And he's got the full beard there, although I think at the time I don't think his beard was as bushy as it is here, especially around the mustache area. But it's still pretty good for figure form. And you do have the hair here, and nicely detailed. You can see all the sculpting details in the hair, all the locks of hair there, individually sculpted, very cool. And it's got a tint of brown here that I think is a little bit darker than it should be, but that's okay. Maybe a little bit of highlighting would have been nice, but it's still good enough, I think, for an elite level figure. And this one here is of Daniel Bryan with a closed mouth, which is pretty good. During his time with Hell No, he's always yelling. He underwent anger management classes with Kane during his promos, which is pretty nice, pretty funny. But this one here is a closed mouth Daniel Bryan, so pretty interesting there. Now, I do have to do a size comparison because this is actually sized appropriately, I believe, within the Elite Collection line. Now, Daniel Bryan, if you're not familiar, is a shorter individual compared to other wrestlers in the WWE, and I think they've scaled it pretty well. Now, to do a size comparison, I do have a Triple H figure. We can just line up, and you can see that Daniel Bryan is a bit shorter, which is appropriate. So it's kind of cool that they kept it in scale most of the time. Now, I do have Triple H here. Hopefully they will meet each other in WrestleMania 30 that's coming up in a month. But anyways, continuing on here with the Daniel Bryan figure and his ring attire as he participated in WrestleMania 29. You do have the wraps here along the wrist there that's simply painted on. And you do have the trunks here with no on there on the front, as he was part of Team Hell No. And I'm trying to remember if during that time, I don't know if it was part of the Yes Movement, probably before the Yes Movement, but at the time he was using the Yes chant, but then switched to the No chant, even though the crowd would still continue to chant Yes. But you got the no there, and that's part of his time during his anger management classes, I guess. I don't know. And on the back of the trunk here, you have the word no with the acronyms for Daniel Bryan within the letter O there, which is pretty cool. So it's pretty nice to have that to represent from WrestleMania 29. Then you have the knee pads here, both in black and red, which is nice. And then you have more of the no chants along his boots here. Now there is what looks like scuffing on there, or paint. I can't tell for sure. I think that's scuffing. There's red underneath there. But you can see some scuffing there over here on the boot, and also on some of the trunks there, which is unfortunate. But I was going through figures trying to find a decent Daniel Bryan figure. A lot of them, there were some paint issues with the eyes on the figure, but I was looking for one where I could do a minimal amount of rework to fix, and I found this one where it was easier to fix these points here, these scuff marks. You can just really repaint that in white. That's not a big deal. Where as opposed to some figures had issues with the eye placement, and this one is actually pretty decent. So this is a lot easier to rework and fix. So, if you're looking for a Daniel Bryan figure, and this one in particular, or this line in particular, I would look to see for QC issues if you're into that. But it's pretty cool that they have these no chants on these boots, so it's actually quite nice. Now to go over articulation for Daniel Bryan here. The figure has pretty much the typical Elite Collection articulation. The head is on I think it's a ball pin socket. I'm not sure, but it can go all the way around on the head, as well as up and slightly and down a little bit, but the beard does get in the way when you're moving the head downwards, so you have that issue there, but that's not a big deal. The head does tilt side to side as well, so that's kind of neat. The arms at the shoulders can go all the way around, and they can go out about that much and in. And the joints on this figure is actually quite tight, which is actually good on there, so that's something to note. The arms at the biceps can go all the way around. There's a single hinge joint at the elbow where you can bend the arm about this much inwards and this far out. There is a couple points of articulation at the wrist where you can move the hand all the way around, as well as in and out. And the left hand is a closed fist, while the right hand is a gripping fist there, or hand. And there is torso articulation with a hinge at the torso area where you can bend the figure downwards about that much, up and slightly back. The figure can go all the way around at the waist. And the legs at the hip are a combination of hinges and swivels there. You can move the leg upwards about that much, down, and you really can't get it back due to the sculpt of the trunks there. The legs can go outwards to the side, and there's a swivel joint at the top of the thigh at the hip area where you can move the leg all the way around. Now there are double hinges at the knees, so you can bend the knee about that much even with the knee padding there. So you can bend it out that much and extend it that far out. And there is a swivel cut at the top of the boot where you can turn that all the way around. And there are a couple articulation points at the ankles. So you have a variety of foot movement here, and there's a hinge where you can move the foot all the way down that much. And it's very tight, and you can move it upwards slightly. It would have been nice to have a larger range of movement in the upward motion, but that's okay. It's not too bad on there. And there is an ankle pivot on the foot there, so kind of nice to have there. Overall, a pretty decent figure of Daniel Bryan as he participated in WrestleMania 29. I believe it was before maybe their breakup. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I have to watch more videos since I've been coming back. But nice representation of Daniel Bryan in 2013. And nice to have these accessories of the belts. And of course the Paul Heyman Build-A-Figure part if you're into that. So this is my casual peek into the WWE Elite Collection Best of Pay-Per-View 2013 Daniel Bryan action figure set. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.